morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to start off with me being in Victoria, the sleeper Volkswagen, and we're actually going to go pick up a new part for Skyla. It's a must-needed part for the tune that we're about to do, and I've kind of been weaning it off for a year now. So right now we're headed about an hour and a half north towards Atlanta, and yeah, let's get going, and I'll update you guys once we get to the part. That works. Got to start off the morning with a fresh coffee. So a lot of people are probably wondering what I bought. Well, pretty much I've been needing this, like I said previously, for well over a year now. Actually, when I had the RB20, I probably needed this because it was tuned. I got myself a front-mounted intercooler from a buddy of mine for dirt cheap. And I mean dirt cheap. So, we are now going to strap that onto Skyla because Skyla will be getting tuned very soon from RS Entropy, and I really need to make sure that I have all the supporting mods. So, we have the fuel pump in, we have the injectors in, all I've got to do is fuel lines for E85, and then I've got to put this front-mounted intercooler in, and I think everything else is pretty much plumbed up. I am wanting to do an exhaust manifold, but it's pretty much just going to be a stainless steel exhaust manifold that's going to fit in the factory location because I believe I have a cracked manifold. So I am losing some boost when that happens. You know, obviously boost leak, or to an extent of a boost leak. So, but yeah, other than that, I needed a front-mounted intercooler. I finally got it, and today we're going to install it. Package secure. Alright, so I already pulled all the piping out, and I'm actually washing those at the moment. But here, it's a little dusty, as you guys can see. But here is the intercooler. It's made by E123 USA. I don't know the exact brand of this. The big reason why I got it was just because it is going to bolt up to, or have the piping run to the factory location like the one that's already on the side mount. As you guys can see right here, it runs down into this hole. The only difference is that now the piping is going to J off and then come over here. So I have to take off the front bumper and then try to place this intercooler where I want it to be and see if it works the way I want it to. But like I said, this was for an RB20, the intercooler. So being the fact that I have the 25, it shouldn't really change anything. The 25 and the 20 have the same routing with the piping. So it should work, but we'll see. I'm going to change really quick and then I'm going to start removing that front bumper. Alright guys, so I've removed the bumper, as you can see, and then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to actually remove all the, it's hard to see, all the horn accessories up here, and see if we can fit the intercooler under this crash bar. If we can't, then we'll just have to take the crash bar off, but I'm really trying not to, because if this does have an accident, I would rather the insurance be able to look at it and be like, yeah, the crash support was on there, and then I'm covered. Horns are out. The little wiring loom for it is out, so let's mock up this intercooler and see where it's gonna sit. Yeah, there's literally no way, so this crash beam's gonna have to come off. Yay. Okay, well, I got the side-mounted intercooler off and most of the intercooler piping off. I put the bumper back on for now without the turn signals because that is about to hit us, so I'm gonna close up for now, and then when the rain stops or whenever it gets dry out again, we'll start knocking this out again. Alright, well, the rain has cleared away, so I just want to try to figure out how I want to put this intercooler on. Alright, I'm really sorry for not updating you guys. I am horrible with the camera. I really need someone to just come film me while I do my work. But I took off the safety bar, or the crash bar. I know, kind of sketch. But what we're going to do is we're going to run no crash bar. Intercooler is going to be mounted in the front with a small angle on it. And then these pockets, they used to be for the fog lights. I think I'm gonna do small LEDs on the side, and then that's gonna be oil and trans cooler. So, all right, guys. So we're gonna go to the Lowe's really quick, and we're gonna grab some of that 90-degree angle iron that I need, or whatever you call it, to help mount with the intercooler. It's currently raining, so I think I'm just gonna buy everything I need today, and then tomorrow we'll do the intercooler. So we'll see. All right, guys. Day 2, back at it with the intercooler. Sorry we couldn't finish it in one day. The rain was just crazy yesterday. I had no other time after going to Lowe's to grab all the nuts and bolts to actually really work on the car. So I actually have the front bumper off, the hood's up, and I put the intercooler on, and I was going to show you guys how I have the intercooler set up and what we're actually going to do. So, all All right, so I grabbed all the piping. Like I said, the front bumper's off. Here's where the intercooler sits now. I grabbed a 90-degree angle iron and pretty much made holes a little bigger and put 2 bolts in each side, and then I'll put a bolt right here. I'm actually going to tighten it down. As you guys can see, it's looser than a goose. And then after that, we're going to try to plumb everything up and see where everything sits before I just start putting it on the front bumper. I know I'm going to have to shade the front bumper a little bit, but other than that, it's just going to look good. Oh, and for a lot of people that may be wondering, where's the front safety bar? I actually don't need it for this car. I called my insurance company and said you're good to go. So we're going to move forward with this. All right, guys, so I pretty much have most of the plumbing ready to rock and roll. I've just got to push everything in, clamp it down. I've got to put a clamp on there. But for the most part, from what the guy gave me, it looks like everything's going to work. I did use some factory piping here. But other than that, everything else looks like it's good to go. So just so you guys know, if you get a side-mounted intercooler, it really doesn't take that many pipes. And my whole goal was to try to make this look as stock as possible, but make a lot of power. So I think me matching this pipe with this kind of pipe, it kind of gives it that rustic, old, vintage look. So hopefully we can continue on and we don't run into any other issues. I know I'm going to have to cut the bumper, but I'm not sure how much yet. I just wanted to first plumb everything up before I just started hacking away at the bumper. All right, guys, now I have everything plumbed up. It looks actually really good. Everything's pretty much solid mounted, and it's not going anywhere. I've tightened everything down to include up here. And like I said, it looks pretty much stock, which is awesome. The problem I am having, though, is there's some drooping happening, and that's because these piping here is wanting to pull this bag roll down. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get some normal iron or bar, which I have in the house, and I'm going to measure from here to this bolt up here, and we're going to cut it and then pretty much run 2 bolts or 2 bars right here and here to try to hold this more stable so it doesn't try to lean anymore. So all right, guys, so I just made the brackets for it. I think it's going to work really well. I'll show you what it looks like. I just painted it with some high gloss engine temp paint just so it kind of mixes in with the intercooler, so it's all black, so I don't have any kind of crazy shiny metal sticking out. So but I'll show you guys that I made. Super easy. All I gotta do is grab a bolt and a nut and then a washer, and it should be all ready to rock and roll. Once this dries, of course, I gotta take about 20 minutes per side, and then it'll take about an hour to dry. All right, guys, I'm really sorry that I didn't record the rest of me putting on this front mounted intercooler, but we got the bad girl on. I just washed her because now we're gonna go do a video shoot with a buddy of mine with an Evo 8. And I really need to get a cameraman. That way they can just follow me around and record me. So if you want to be my cameraman and you're in Columbus, Georgia, hit me up. Like I said, I love doing this stuff for you guys and I love showing you, but it's so hard to do it and then video at the same time. It's just such a hassle for me. But like I said, anyways, guys, car's washed, Skylar's ready to rock and roll. So let's hit the road and let's go get those rolling shots done.
She's like, I'm returning this bullshit. Get out from underneath my truck. And I was like, Roger.
All right, guys, well, we're back. I really hope you enjoyed that really small snippet from that YouTube video. Robert's right behind you. And just go check it out on my buddy's channel. It's called Tomosity. He has that silver Evo 8 that you saw in the video. It's freaking amazing. However, as you guys can see, now we're in different clothes, and we're working on Skyla again because for some reason, my wastegate decided to stick wide open while we were doing the filming, and I had a really bad breaking up issue. So we figured that out. I turned around and I fixed that issue. However, I think what happened was my car leaned out a lot because now the fact that the wastegate's open, it's either running no boost or all the boost. So when it did that, it actually destroyed 2 of my coils or 3 of my coils. So we're replacing all the spark plugs, putting different coil pack in. I'm probably gonna have to buy some split fire coil packs soon. And then hopefully that fixes it. If it doesn't fix it, then we're gonna start looking at shaft play in the turbo because that's kind of the next step because it was all running super lean in wastegate and turbo side. So I don't think anything happened on the intake side, but like I said, we don't know yet. We're gonna try this and see what happens. So I'll get back to you guys if we resolve the issue. So a little update for you guys. It is currently day 2 because last night we were just struggling to figure out what the problem was. I think what is happening is because my car is not tuned for this front mount intercooler, I'm taking in so much air that my car can't handle it, and the MAF is freaking out and telling the ECU something's wrong. There's so much air. So I'm gonna put the side mounted wing back on. I'm gonna leave the front mounted intercooler on there, but just take all the plumbing off and just have the side mount on there and then hook everything back up to stock. See if the car turns over and runs. If it's not that, the big issue that we did have yesterday is my wastegate was wide open the whole time, like the whole drive to the video, to get my car videoed and whatnot, wide open, and we didn't catch it until I got back to the apartments. The big thing though is that I only have a 5-pound wastegate spring in, so the most boost that I was able to push out of that car would have been right around 5 to 6 pounds, if that. So that's nowhere near damaging the car. So I'm really hoping that I don't have to get a new turbo. If that's the case, that's the case, but we'll see. Wow, it is really bright out. However, while in the mix of us trying to figure out this front mount and intercooler situation, I did turn around and look over at my AC because my AC doesn't work. And I saw the fan that's connected to the AC, and pretty much what that does is when the AC is the condenser is getting too hot, it'll kick on a small fan. And I'll show you guys that in just 1 minute. Anyways, it'll turn around and it'll kick on this fan once the condenser gets too hot and it's trying to control the AC. So my AC doesn't work, so we turned around and we rewired it to one of the fog lights. Oh, let me get the camera there. Rewired it to one of the fog lights. That way, whenever I turn around and turn my fog light on, it turns that fan on. The nice thing about that is the fact that now I can keep my car cold, especially when we're sitting at a light and it's idling. But if you guys look, like, this front mount intercooler looks mean as can be. I'm just gonna put the side one on, which is right here, and see if it works. If it turns over and runs great, then that means I just gotta turn around and get the car tuned before I can just throw on this front mount intercooler. That's so cool. All right, so I have everything plumbed back up. I'm gonna put my filter back on here. No clamps are on it, on this pipe, or these two pipes here. I did clamp down here though. I'm gonna start the car. We're gonna let it sit there and idle and see if it can learn itself and see if this system's good, because we're not gonna be making any boost. So unless it is having like a little bit of a rough idle and I can feel the leak, I'm not gonna tighten anything down, because I really don't feel like it is the intercooler. I hope it is, but I really don't think it is. I think my turbo is. Done skis. So anyways, we're gonna check it out. Fuel pump primed. And it's slowly dying still. I'm gonna let it sit for a minute, figure itself out. I may have messed up the map. That's my biggest concern. And that's why it's doing this hesitation. This doesn't really do nothing. It's just a pressure gate, or just pressure to the actual inlet itself. It's not gonna change the way the car idles or anything like that. So the idle sounds okay. It's getting better. Hey, it's actually getting better. Way better. Well, that split second was. I actually think we fixed her. Surprisingly. That's kind of odd. Hang on. Let me. So the idle is a little high, actually. It's over at like 1.2, but that's because I tightened the throttle body so it didn't die earlier. But as soon as I hit this, no death. And everything, ooh, poppy. Everything's running great. I'm gonna tighten these couplings, and then I'm gonna let it idle for a while and see if it's fixed itself. But if so, that's some really good news. Woo! All right, everything's been plumbed up. Oh man, I totally got to put my MAF on. Totally forgot, it's over there. I'm gonna put my MAF on, and then we're gonna start this back roll up. Totally forgot to do that. Let's do it. And thanks to the transitioning gods, we have our MAF back on. And let's start her up. Again, fuel pump is priming, good. A little bit of a rough idle at first, but we're gonna let it like kind of feel itself out. Sometimes it takes up to 50 miles for the car to relearn itself. I'm gonna put the filter back on, and then hopefully that'll kind of help it out a little bit, and then we should be good to go. So I am having some more idling issues still. It's still breaking up and whatnot. So I'm gonna unplug my battery, because these old cars, I guess if you unplug the battery and let it sit for 10 minutes, it'll reset the ECU. So we're gonna unplug the battery and we're gonna let it sit for 10 minutes. I'm also gonna spray some MAF cleaner back down the MAF again, see if that helps a little bit. If that doesn't help, what I'm gonna do tonight is I'm going to unplug, or I'm going to take the MAF off, and then I'm actually gonna go inside and take it apart and see. I read some of the solders pretty much can wiggle off and break and whatnot, so I'm gonna look at it, see if I can resolder it, and then continue from there. But other than that, guys, I'm actually gonna leave you on this. Stay tuned for the next video. I'm not really sure what it's gonna be yet, but like I said, just stay tuned. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a great day, and let's go for a ride.